Wesley Yang reported that you met with tech titans Mark Andreessen and Peter Thiel, both of whom advocate decentralized education. Can you share anything about this? I don't know if I can share anything interesting. I mean, I enjoyed meeting Mark and Peter. I've met Mark several times. I've only met Peter once, although I've spent some time with Eric Weinstein, who works with Peter. You know, Peter is libertarian oriented, and so he shares concerns about the potential totalitarian function of internet technology and manifesting itself, well, in the constant monitoring of our behavior, and also in the emergent censorship, let's say. Mark Andreessen, well, Mark's a smart guy, and he knows a lot of other smart guys, and we spent a lot of time talking about the possibility of online education, but there isn't anything really exciting I can report about that. I mean, they were all preliminary discussions of a sort to see if we could get along and if we could talk, and so far we've been able to. I am making a fair bit of headway with this university project, although we don't really conceptualize it as a university project anymore. We're conceptualizing it as a adaptive learning system, and we're trying to use it to index knowledge on the web, funnel money to creative producers of educational content, allow people to test their knowledge no matter how it's generated, and to accredit people properly. And we'll release more information about that in the upcoming months as we move closer and closer to a functional prototype. The plan at the moment, I've talked to lots of people like Andreessen and Thiel who are very interested in technology and education, and who also are very well capitalized and have had the opportunity multiple times to pull in investors into this educational project. But I haven't done that, partly because, weirdly enough, you know, you think money is a solution to a problem, but it's often a problem in and of itself. And if I generated several $1 million, let's say, to fund this educational endeavor, then I would not only have to worry about how to design the educational system, but then I'd have to worry about how to spend that money and shepherd that money intelligently. And that's actually a huge administrative problem of sufficient magnitude to stop you from doing any creative thinking at all. So what we're doing instead is I'm funding the university project at the moment, or the online education project, as a consequence of my Patreon funding. Ha! Fixed that in about 5 seconds this time. So I'm funding that from my Patreon donations, and I like that model better. The only problem is that I would like to offer the people that I have as employees a certain amount of financial stability. And so, you know, it isn't obvious to me how stable the Patreon funding is, although it's been very stable so far, but, you know, who knows how that will work out. So I think what we're going to do is to crowdfund in October or November, once we have a minimal viable product. And I think I'd rather do that than raise money privately anyways, because I don't want this project to be beholden to anyone, and I want to maintain control over its direction with a small group of programmers. You know, it's often a small group of people who are working tightly together that solve very complicated problems, and that's certainly been the case with working, say, with Daniel Higgins and Robert Peale on the self-authoring programs and so forth. A small team. We've thought about going the venture capital route and expanding and trying to make a big business out of it, but our sense was more that and maybe we were wrong about this, but that it was better to go directly after customers and to build the business incrementally and to test it along each step, and not to get enticed by the possibility of unicorn level money. And so anyways, that's the situation there. And I've got 3 really bright people working on this open educational platform, and it's really quite exciting, and I would say we're well ahead of schedule from where I thought we would be. So that's pretty cool.